Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday live Q&A podcast. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm a brand director here at My Amazon Guy. We are here to answer any and all questions you might have today, whether it's Amazon related, agency related, ASIN related, anything you have to throw at me, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer and get along to everything. So without further ado, let's jump in today and hop on to some questions. I was seeing some good ones in the chat already. Let's start with the Thinkrish. Welcome back. Always great to see you here. Question 1. I keep on getting this message. I have limited access to selling in Germany and the Netherlands. Is there a setting in Amazon Marketplace to delete selling in Europe? And number 2, I am not interested in selling in Europe. Is there a setting I can turn off? Okay. So yes, there is. So if you want to turn off selling in Europe, all you have to do is go over to specifically your inventory section, then go to sell globally, and you'll want to click on Europe. From there, you want to check and see, is this something that is actually currently turned on? And are you currently connected to your selling accounts over there? If you are, what I would typically do there is, if you don't want to have those connected anymore, you have to reach out to seller support and ask them to deactivate those accounts. Now, the big thing there is that you don't want to necessarily have those fully deleted. Secondarily to that as well, you want to check your fulfillment settings, and you want to make sure that Amazon is not enabled to sell globally. What this is going to allow you to do is make it sure that even if you aren't selling over there, Amazon isn't porting your listings over to those marketplaces if you've never even started on them. So that's also an area where that can happen. So again, go to inventory, sell globally, check on your European, see if you are connected there. If you are, you have to reach out to seller support. If you are not, you have to go to your fulfillment, make sure Amazon cannot sell your product globally. Great first question, Thinkrish. Love seeing you around here. And hopping on over quickly to Michelle. Hi, if I want to sell planners or iPhone cases, then do I have to create a new listing every year? Or will I have to remove the FBA inventory every year and ship new inventory in? Okay, so is it even allowed by Amazon? How would their FBA inventory removals work? Okay, so it sounds more like, I'm guessing, Michelle, you mean yearly iPhone cases and planners. Which, if that is the case, no. Technically, the best way to go about it is to actually create a new ASIN every single year. The reasoning for that is that with a brand new ASIN allows you to essentially every single year re-hit that honeymoon stage with that brand new ASIN, which you want to do. And what I would highly advise is every single year you hit that honeymoon stage and then you instantly parent it with last year's item. Now, you don't have to do that. You can technically make the edits to the listing, but it's not always going to be approved by Amazon. The reason for that is because you technically are selling a different product than you were the year before. As well, on top of that, one of the things that you probably don't want to do, and the reason you wouldn't want to do that, is because that product is going to be highly ranking for, let's say, if you're selling 2024, when we get to 2025, if someone searches for a 2025 yearbook or planner or something like that, they're not going to actually see your listing for that 2025, right? They're going to, simply because you are ranking and indexing for 2024. So I would typically suggest that you actually create a new ASIN every single year for it, send in inventory for that ASIN. You can always sell out of the other inventory. It's one of the harder parts, I will say, of doing yearly stuff. If you don't plan your inventory correctly and you end up having more inventory than you actually sell through in the year, it's very unlikely that you are going to sell through the rest of it. And most of the time, you just have to kind of either eat the loss or sell at like a huge discount. So definitely, I would suggest going ahead, doing a new ASIN every single year, parent those ASINs together, and then once you're out of inventory, just remove the other ASIN from that parentage. You can also do a merge there as well, I should say, but that's up to you. Let's see. Question 2. Is adding image keywords important when adding images in A+ content? Does it help SEO ranking? Thanks. Yes. We consider this alt text. So image keywords or alt text, they are rankable and they are searchable by Amazon's algorithm. So Amazon does crawl alt text for its image keywords, and that is something that you can rank and index on your listing. So absolutely, image keywords are super important. I always advise people to put image keywords in. You can always check which alt text you currently have for your A+ content by getting like a Chrome extension that's just alt text viewer of images. But absolutely, yes, it is rankable and searchable, and so you should have it in there. Steffi, hey, my mom wants to sell on Amazon too. Cool. But private label is too much for her. She wants to sell Marshalls, etc. items. Okay, so retail arbitrage. Got it. Can she make 10K plus with this model? And where can she learn this selling model? Thanks. Retail arbitrage. Can you make 10K with it? Theoretically, yeah. There are a lot of very successful retail arbitrage sellers out there. Do I think that every single person who's going to be doing retail arbitrage is going to make 10K with it? Absolutely not. It is usually a side gig hobby for many people. It's never going to be as profitable, and it's never going to be as useful as even like wholesaling is, right? So yeah, I would not say that, by any means she probably will make 10K if you have a lot of capital going into it. Because the way you need to think about it, if we're talking about 10K in sales, okay, that's fine. If we sell, let's say, 200 items at $50 a pop, there we go, we got our 10K in sales. Now if we're talking about 10K in profit, that's way different. You have to sell, let's say, 2,000 items at $5 profit, right? So we're really getting the nitty-gritty, and that's after all fees, everything involved. So the big thing there, I would say, Steffi, is can you do 10K in sales? Absolutely. That's not hard to do at all, just from the aspect of selling things. But everyone wants to make a profit. So where can she learn it? There's a million different YouTube videos. We don't really do much with retail arbitrage around here, just because, again, it's not the best model. It's more of kind of like a side gig hobby. It's why I know a lot of people who sell on Amazon with great brands now got into Amazon with. So I do encourage people to try it out if they're just wanting to try and get into Amazon as, a couple extra bucks a month. But it's definitely not going to be something where it's like a long-term thing, and especially when you don't have any form of, connection there. Secondarily, Steffi is asking, also, I can't run Prime exclusive discounts for Prime Day. Oh no. Your products are not eligible for advertisement. What other promotions I use to offer for Prime Day so I don't lose BSR? I wouldn't say you're going to lose BSR if you're not offering a promotion for Prime Day. Big thing, I'm not a advocate for a race to the bottom on Prime Day. That being said, I will say that if you're not able to offer Prime exclusives and you still want to offer a discount, you can just do a strike through. You can do a strike through. You can do a regular promotion. You can do a coupon, but strike through is probably going to be your easiest one if you can't run Prime exclusives. And again, it just will show as your typical 40% off, right? Or 30% off, whatever you're going to do. So I would just run a strike through. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not going to be that big of a hindrance. I don't think, again, Prime Day should be a race to the bottom for everyone. But I do think that absolutely, if you're going to be doing some form of thing, go ahead, do it. But do a strike through. That'll be your best bet. Misha. Good morning, Noah. Good morning. A week ago, I finally removed counterfeit sellers from my listing. Congrats. Their price was half my price and they had the buy box. Now I'm the only seller on the listing, but I still didn't get buy box back. How do I fix this? Okay, so a few different things you're going to want to check out here, Misha. So first and foremost, what you're going to want to do, and I might be able to pull something up. What you'll want to do is you'll want to take your ASIN and throw your ASIN into just Amazon.com and search for it. What that's going to tell you is if you have some form of suppression for that ASIN. So if your product does not pop up when you throw the ASIN in, it should be number 1, number 2 in there, then that means your product is suppressed in some way, shape, or form, even if it doesn't say so on the back end. Now, there's a few ways you can kind of solve that. One would be doing a delete relist via bulk upload. Secondarily to this, you can always submit to seller support for it. But what I would probably suggest, let's say that it isn't a suppression of any kind. More than likely, it's either one, account related. So there's a million reasons why featured offer cannot be had on product, right? So you could have a situation where, for instance, you lose featured offer because you are, 0.5% over on your late shipment rate, or you lose it because you got one too many 1-star, 2-star reviews in a short period of time. And so now you're not able to sell the product. So check for hidden suppressions first and foremost. Secondarily, do a delete relist of the actual product. That's going to help you a ton, because that's going to tell you if there's an issue with the actual listing itself. And then lastly, from there, if it could still theoretically be a high pricing error, just because the average selling price that the hijacker was selling at, more than likely your price is way too high. If they were 50% below, that means that essentially the average selling price over a period of time on your ASIN is now much lower than what your price is at. So that means that Amazon is going to consider you to be having a high pricing error. So unfortunately, the only thing you really can do there is lower your price. You can also submit to seller support on it, but you really just got to have sales come in to have that price, that average selling price, go up a little bit more. Secondarily, Misha also asks, there are video reviews on my competitors' listings from people with earns commission. How does it work, and how to apply my products for this program? Thank you for your help. More than likely what that is, it's probably Creator Connections earns commission. So it's probably a part of Amazon's Impulse program, which is like their little social networking software, right? Where influencers are and things like that. So that's likely what that is, Misha. It's Creator Connections with a mix of the Impulse program. So if you send me a specific example, I'm happy to look at it, but that's what my first instinct would be just from hearing that. Mario. Hi, Noah. What do you think of the usage of emojis and bullet description on product? Also, what do you think about writing brackets in the bullet description of the product? So for anyone that has seen me on these lives before, we have been asked this question, and I will always have the same answer, Mario. And my answer there is I don't like emojis in bullets. I really don't. I think that it can make sense in some areas. So let's say you are selling a toy of some kind, or you are in a kids category. I think it's much more apt to put a emoji there than it is in nearly any other category there is. That we have, some categories where, it'll be encouraged in some way, shape, or form. But by and large, I typically am not going to recommend emojis. Why? Emojis are not crawlable and rankable text of any kind. Do they look kind of nice with, mobile viewers nowadays scrolling through and whatnot? Yeah, I would absolutely say they do. But it's not really going to help you. It's emoji in your text isn't going to help convert. It's not going to help search for the product, anything in between. So get rid of them. If you sell a kid's product or a funny, goofy product, like a prank product, absolutely throw it in there, because that kind of fits the vibe that you're going for. But by and large, no, I don't like them. Secondary question there, brackets. I'm okay with brackets. Everyone has a different way of how they like to separate info in their bullets, description, everything. Brackets is fine by me. It's not a huge thing. It's, again, similar to emojis. It's not really going to help you in one way, shape, or form. But if you're just using it as like at the very beginning as an identifier, go right ahead. Brackets fine. Let's see here. Ansar. Hi, sir. Hey. Viper, happy Friday. How do we set up taxes in Amazon Seller Central? Well, you're asking me a very loaded question there, Viper. Setting up taxes in Amazon Seller Central. If you're asking specifically for how to add all of your tax information in, that's going to be under your account info. So when you're actually set up an account on Seller Central, when you're putting all of that banking information, all of your LLC information, all of that, that is for the purpose of things like taxes. Now, to view things like taxes and understanding what Amazon collects versus what you need to deal with, and the cool part here is that Amazon collects like 99% of it, right? When it comes to sales tax. But what you need to deal with is you need to deal with going to your payments and you need to understand what you are supposed to put from a tax perspective. So there's this thing that came out, I want to say it was 2018, 2017, called Nexus, which it's all about how taxes online work, and every single state is going to be different. So if you're talking specifically the US, Viper, you need to understand, and I'm not an accountant. I will never claim to be an accountant, so I do not know that much about taxes. But that being said, you need to usually talk with an accountant when it comes to understanding the actual tax code for your state and how you are applied when it comes to selling on Amazon, especially with things like FBA. So that being said, but most everything you need from a tax perspective is in the payments section. So if you go to payments, they have specific repository reports where you can understand get the exact summary and understand what is being taken out by Amazon. Matthew, looking to list an ASIN on Amazon USA that is currently live on Amazon Australia. However, when trying to add the ASIN on USA, Amazon is not picking up the item on their catalog, not seeing ASIN or UPC. How do we go about listing in the USA? Yeah, so that's pretty normal, Matthew. I mean, that just ASINs are specific to where they start, right? So you don't necessarily always have listings going off in every single Amazon global place, right? So you have to actually set up that ASIN still. So what it kind of sounds like to me, though, is that you don't have your USA account and your Australia account linked. Now, if that's the case, that's where you're running into issues. And what I would highly suggest you do is go to Amazon on your Australia account, go to the inventory section, click sell globally, and then you need to link up your Australia and US accounts. What that's going to essentially do for you is it's going to let you also cross post your listings, and you can even connect Australia to the US as well. So you can make easy edits and things like that across different marketplaces. So that's going to be your easiest route by and large, easiest way to go about it. So again, inventory sell globally, connect the accounts, because otherwise, yeah, you're going to have some issues with actually listing the product and buy the specific ASIN. One thing on that as well, Matthew. I would really also suggest you do this linkage. And the reason is that don't go the route of trying to create a new ASIN, because you're going to run into issues at some point in time with Amazon linking the two and having different UPCs, or the same UPC, different ASINs, and they'll do a merge and it'll be a whole cluster. So definitely go with the linking. Okay. Hello, Noah. For displaying image variations, example, mug with panda, cat, etc. Cool. It's better to stick with one scene or switch background / POV every time to make it less boring. Switch background. Switch it to make the most sense for the product or whatever you're doing, right? So you can have 99% the same, right? If it's the same product, the only thing that's different is, let's say, a panda versus a cat. So for a background, if I'm guessing you're talking about like secondary images, things like that, I would do like a panda, I don't know, put some bamboo in the secondary image, right? Or for a cat, put, I don't know, a ball of yarn, right? So if you're going to have different variations, change the variation to be slightly different. With images on the secondary images, things like that, absolutely add some different characteristics in there that make it stand out from the other variations. Let's see, Yang. Other sellers list my products on Amazon Canada, whom I have never authorization. Use my ASIN brand. I report abuse, select trademark infringement, a product detail page unlawfully using my trademark. This option display in gray. How can I report infringing? Remove these unauthorized seller from my ASIN. So my question there, Ying, would be, when they're selling the product in Canada, is it under the same exact ASIN? So use my ASIN brand. I report. Yeah. So if it's under your exact ASIN, you can't report for trademark infringement on a PDP or a listing because it is the brand. It's under your brand name. So what you need to actually report them for is you need to report them for selling counterfeit product. It's not trademark infringement, it's counterfeit product because obviously you're not selling it to them, right? So they're not selling the actual product. This is a hard battle to win most times. The best way to go about it is actually purchasing a unit from them and then taking a picture of that unit, submitting it to seller support, and showing seller support that it's not the same product. It's a difficult battle to win, but yeah, the trying to do the trademark infringement when it's an ASIN that's connected to your brand doesn't work. So that's the real thing. You could also theoretically unlink and North America and Canada listings, and then make changes to the Canadian listing just so that they can't sell it anymore. But that's up to you. Sir, how we can work in Amazon? Just start working it. Anybody can work in Amazon. Let's see, Mohammed. I'm selling in the US marketplace. I have an Indian trademark. Is there any way I can remove mapping other sellers' offers from my product detail page? If you are not brand registered, then no. If you are brand registered, then what you need to do is exactly what I was just saying to Ying, is essentially you need to prove that they are selling counterfeit items, and you need to submit that they're selling counterfeits. And the only way to do that, usually to actually get successful, is to purchase the item and show that it is counterfeit. So that's unfortunately the number one way that you're going to get done. But you can always, just go for the, go for the idea of counterfeit items. The trademark isn't going to work because you're selling on it. You don't want to attack the actual ASIN, again, because it's your listing, it's your ASIN. So go after these sellers. The easiest way to go after sellers is counterfeit claims. Charlotte. Hello, we are approved to sell a particular, can't speak. Sell a particular brand. That brand name is visible on DP. Sudden restriction came up from the different brand on selling application that is not the same brand listed on DP. I don't understand. So you approved to sell a particular brand. So you're a reseller. Okay. Sudden restriction came up from different brand on selling application that is not the same brand. So if you're talking about reselling here, Charlotte, which it sounds like you are, you need multiple verifications usually when it comes to getting resale certification. So if you're approved to sell a particular brand on Amazon, that brand not necessarily is the one that always gets to have the end say. So for instance, Amazon has, or not Amazon, brands have a lot of different manufacturers, a lot of different people that can give the right for certain people to sell the products, right? So if depends on where you're buying the product. If you are buying it direct from someone, then what I would suggest that you do, and you're buying it from the brand, I should say, is reach out to the brand and have them write you a letter of authorization. Sudden restriction came up from different brand on selling application that is not the same. That sounds like it could, again, exact same scenario. It sounds like two different people have essentially the rights over that brand. So on brand registry, you can actually identify different people who have different right amounts, so they can do like authorized reseller under the brand. So if you are purchasing from the brand direct, get a letter of authorization. If you're not, there's not a ton you can do, because that just means that someone else is saying you can't sell that product. Salma. My inventory management shows available stock. However, the product detail pages for these ASINs are displaying as out of stock to customers. How can I solve it? So if you're saying you're currently showing available stock, is it actually available or is it in reserve, Salma? Product detail pages for these ASINs are displaying as out of stock to customers. How can I solve it? That probably means that it's not in stock in certain location as well. That's the big thing. So if you are selling on FBM, it will show out of stock if you do not ship to a certain location. So check your shipping. So if you're not shipping to a specific location, that's why it will show out of stock, because people can't purchase it for their location. If you're selling FBA, people can still purchase it. It should just be a long wait time. Check your reserve to make sure even if it says available, just make sure it's not available in reserve or reserved in some way, shape, or form. Make sure that it's not an FC transfer if it's an FBA item. The biggest thing there, it sounds mostly like this is just a linking issue of what your actual ASIN inventory is. If none of that is working, you can try a delete relist, but that's going to leave you with probably some suspended, or not suspended, but some inventory just up in the air. You just can work with Seller Central on that part of it. But likely, again, this is more than likely just an issue of shipping. Gundover's answering Misha. Cool. Sarah, when we get relevant traffic and a lot of clicks without getting orders, what should we do in this situation? So if you're getting relevant traffic and a lot of clicks without getting orders, you have to understand what is the issue. Well, that means you have a conversion issue. So if you are getting a lot of clicks, you're getting a lot of traffic, conversion usually means one of two things. Either means that your price is way too high outside of what people actually are going to pay for it. Or number two, you are getting a lot of clicks and a lot of traffic, but people don't believe your product is relevant. The number one thing that will show you relevancy is sales. So if you are not getting sales on a keyword, but you are getting clicks and impressions, you're not actually relevant for that keyword. So that's kind of where I would lean towards, Sarah. Biggest thing there that I would look at again is your converting factor. So a few things that happen with conversion. Is your product relevant? Okay. If it is, cool. If your product is well priced, cool. Price is number one converting factor. Design is going to be the secondary to that. So you can always work on your actual conversion to make sure your product aligns with what people are actually looking for. Work on the design, make sure people understand your product fully if it really is relevant to your keywords, and then go from there. But again, sales equal relevancy. So that's where, I would check that first and foremost. A lot of people out there think that they will be targeting relevant keywords when in reality, their keyword is not actually as relevant as they really think it is. So hope that helps. Get some water here real quick, guys. Regular glass this week, no Fiji. Boom. Any advice on the Career Connections program? What is your experience with it, and what are the best practices? Yeah, I love Career Connections program. It's a great program overall when it works, I should say. And what I mean by that is that their software is constantly buggy. As far as advice on it, my biggest key advice is that I usually give people for Career Connections program is number one, don't worry about what you set your budget at. Literally set your budget as high as humanly possible. If you want to set it to $1 billion, that's fine. What really matters is your commission percentage. The reason for that is that you're not paying for anything other than sales. So if you set, let's say, a 10% commission, you have to look at that as every sale from Career Connections as a flat 10% ACOS tacos, right? Which everyone should love 10% ACOS tacos. If you don't love 10% ACOS tacos, then you probably don't have enough profit in your product to be doing much advertising at all. That being said, the reason for that is that when creators on the back end of Career Connections are looking through different campaigns, most of the time, they're going to be more inclined to work with campaigns that have more budget. Why? Because they want to make more money and they don't want to be limited in how much money they can make, right? So that's my number one key thing that I feel like so many people do. They'll set like a budget of like $1,000 and like 10%. And it's like wondering why no creators want to work with them. And it's like, well, who's going to do all this work if the max they can make is $1,000, right? So again, $1 billion. If you end up selling $1 billion worth of items at a flat 10% advertising cost, I don't know anyone who wouldn't take that deal. So number one, that. Number two, I would say the other big thing there when it comes to creators that you're going to invite, don't just go for like the really big ones, don't just go for all the news outlets, everything like that. Try and actually find ones that do seem like they are within your product niche. It's awesome to get a BuzzFeed article with your product in it. That's not going to be always happening, right? So that's number two to that. But finally, what I would say with career connections is it's more supplementary. It should not be a primary when it comes to your ad strategy. It's still not great enough to where I could say, yeah, we're only running career connections for kind of our promo budget type of thing. So start at 10% when you're doing your thing. Start out around 60 days for your first campaign. Tweak from there. If people aren't really joining in, cool. Make a new one at, let's say, 15%. Do another 60. But yeah, hope that helps. Ali, hi there. Did you ever hear about Chinese arbitrage? Better than private label in small markets like Mexico or UK Amazon? No, I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, what about it? More Chinese race or more Chinese sellers on platforms and everything, and a bunch of hijackers coming onto different products. Great. Wish Amazon would do something about it, but yeah, no, I haven't heard really much about it past that kind of stuff. Is there any latest AI features are available in India? Not that I know of. No, I think the most recent stuff has just been the ad console. When you can create advertisements, image generator, the listing like keyword stuff. Amazon AI will do that. I don't think any of Amazon's AI stuff is good. It's not great right now. It misses on a lot of keywords. It misses just everything you should be doing. So I wouldn't rely on it, even if you have access to it. Hollywood Picture Studios. Okay. Is the Amazon duration stream section of their movie sales Excel sheet for the Freevee movie sales represented in minute streamed or second stream? Ooh, I don't know. I think it might be minutes streamed, but I don't know actually, unfortunately. I could, if you showed it to me and I had it in front of me, I could probably tell you pretty accurately and pretty quickly, and I'd have to log into the platform. It's been a while, a couple of months, I would say, since the last time I was in the Amazon section for like movies and whatnot. So I would assume it's minutes, not seconds. Seconds doesn't really make sense from a playback standpoint, but maybe I'm wrong. Karen, is there any way we can identify what specifically is causing a video campaign to get rejected, whether it is the product or something in the video? Client has sent video, but video rejection reason is vague. Then when video gets approved, it says product is rejected due to some verbiage. But what word is causing it? How do we get around this overall issue and streamline? There's not a ton you can do when it comes to videos. The issue with the primary issue when it comes to videos and getting rejected there is that it can be an audio feature, it can be a word or verbiage or something. Usually it actually is the product, and the product just itself is not allowed for video advertising. Seller Central isn't going to give you much word there. The real thing that you have to do is kind of just start tweaking, and then also ask them a lot. If you have an Amazon advertising rep, reach out to them. They should be able to help you a lot more on this and be able to say exactly what, as well as push through the advertisement if you're allowed. So most of the time I see it, it usually is a product issue, but if it's not, then yeah, it's just a lot of fine tweaking, unfortunately. Oh, I missed it. Thank you for the super sticker. I completely missed that. Let's see. Oh, man, I just clicked off. Where are we at? Here we are. Jack, hello. Once my selling account has been connected to a brand's registry, can I then create my own listings under their brand, or is there more required? No, you can create. So yes and no. So you have to have the actual brand connected to your selling account, right? So that's the big part. And yes, you can create your listings, but when you have the brand connected, it depends on what they connected you as. So are you just an authorized seller, or are you a brand registered affiliate, right? Or a brand owner? Those are the big differentiators in how you're actually going to be able to do it. It usually is still pretty difficult to actually create the listings. I usually, in these scenarios, just have the brand owner create the listing, and then from there, I would just add it into the actual where you need to have it. So it's going to be pretty difficult there, but yeah, you should be able to. It just might get denied a lot by Amazon. Abdul, for some reason, I have read the title of this vid wrong, which gives Mag a new service idea. Offer a Q&A service and charge for each question asked and replied. We kind of do that already, Abdul. I mean, for those that don't know, we have on our webpage, let's see, here it is, coaching. You can do private coaching, and then, $50, ask Steven a question directly. So feel free to go book your coaching call, Abdul, or, ask one question for, 50. But no, we do these Friday Q&As free of charge. Ask as many questions you guys want. Throw them in the chat. I'm happy to answer any and everything I can at the end of the day. So it's, it's us against Amazon. We got to be able to educate everyone, right? We got Mr. John Aspinall in the chat. What is the difference between TOS and image guidelines? Many people think hero image post edits affect TOS, but they do not. John Aspinall is correct. So TOS, Amazon Terms of Service and Image Guidelines. These are technically, and I'll actually throw a third one in there that John's not even talking about, which is Amazon Advertising Guidelines. Amazon has essentially multiple areas of its business that you have to abide by. Terms of Service is general selling services. So what this means is essentially when you sign up as a seller, Terms of Service is everything you are agreeing to abide by. This is where things like Section 3 comes in, where Amazon can just suspend your account for whatever reason they think you have some form of malicious act happening there. On top of that, it's essentially everything you agree to as a seller on the Amazon platform. Fair, and it's fair policy and everything. So, whereas the actual image guidelines are different. Image guidelines on Amazon are completely different and outside of term service in the sense that image guidelines are where Amazon is specifically saying that what you can and can't do with images. So, what John's talking about here when he's talking about the hero image post edits affecting TOS, they don't, because images are not in TOS. Images are in their own exact area and do not affect the actual TOS. So, for instance, doing things such as a main image hack CTR, where you're going to throw a little button onto the primary image, is not against TOS, is not a issue with actually breaking a terms of service rule, and it's not something that's really a huge offense. Same thing I will then bring into the advertising section. Same exact thing where, funny enough, when we were just talking about the video side of things for advertising and updating a video on ads, Amazon advertising has its own rules and regulations around what you can actually put for certain media and for certain advertisements. So that's actually completely different. So for instance, on actually Amazon TOS, you can sell parts of, let's say, firearms. You can have certain firearms. Whereas for advertising, you cannot advertise firearms. You also can't have any thought of it in, or not thought, but any idea of it in any of the imagery, any of the videos, anything you do. So all three of these are different areas that everyone should understand, which that's why people like us are here, is because nobody's going to sit there and read through all of the term service. Nobody's going to read through all of the image guidelines, all of the advertising guidelines, etc. So there's a lot of different areas. I love John's comment here, and it's great to see you, John, but it is one of those difficult aspects of Amazon to understand each area and what it actually represents. Let's see. We got Adrian. Why does it take too long to have access from Career Connection since we already filed the ticket from ad support since October 2023? Career Connections, getting access, it's kind of a pain in the butt, like a really, really, really big pain in the butt to try and get access to it what I would typically do, and I did a little post on this at some point. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I've answered this one before. What I would always suggest, and you can read through his post, but um, my biggest thing is just tell them that you're already working with established influencers that want to work through the Amazon platform. There's no faster way to get Amazon to move their butt on something than to essentially tell them that they're going to make money in some way, shape, or form. So if you haven't gotten access to it and you're still trying, tell them that you have relationships with influencers on the Amazon influencer program through creator connections, and they want to work with you through creator connections only. So that'll usually kind of get you sped up in the process and get you access to it a little bit faster. Muhammad. Let's see. I have brand registry with Indian trademark and plan to get U.S. trademark. And once I have U.S. trademark, will I still need to report counterfeits, or U.S. trademark is enough to remove unauthorized seller from my product detail page? No, you still have to report counterfeits. We call these hijackers, Mohammed. So yeah, you have to report counterfeits for any type of thing that pops up for that. So if there's another seller on your listing and you did not sell the product to them, that's a hijacker, and we usually call that counterfeit selling. So yeah, you got to report for that. It's not going to be enough just to have a U.S. trademark. Let's see. Viper, do we need to fill out the product's tax code on the offer tab when creating / editing a listing? Technically, yes. Does everyone do it? No. Would I suggest you do it? Yeah. The product's tax code, super easy. I wonder if I can actually find it for you, Viper, right now. There's just documents you can get for products tax codes. I can't find it right now, Viper, but if you just look up products tax codes, you can find your product, like what the tax code for every single type of category of product can be. There are even ones out there that like link it to specific Amazon categories. You can throw it in there. It helps, but it's not necessarily something you have to do, but it is something you should do. I should say. Amazon might also say, hey, you need this. So, Sarah, we see a study option in our campaign. Please provide some information about what is this? This is actually really cool. This is a newer feature. I want to see on the account I'm on right now if we have access to this. I'm not sure if we do just yet. Let's do this one. Doesn't look like we have access on this one just yet. So I'll talk about it then, Sarah. So essentially what it is Amazon added the ability for you to create studies. And what this is really going to do, and give me 1 second. Let's see if I can log into another account. But what this is going to do for you is this is going to make it so that you can actually essentially track how your campaign does over time. So when you're looking and trying to create a campaign, or let's say not create a campaign, but understand how a campaign acts, you can create a study. So I actually do have some screenshots from another one I'll just pull up here in a second. But essentially what you can do is add it in, and then over time you can choose different campaigns to add into that study. And you can show from a product perspective, here is where that was, here is where it is, here is how all of those keywords across this entire product and these campaigns have interacted. So the real thing is with it, if you're, it's great for people like us. It's great for an agency perspective. We can now create tons of different case studies essentially and understand how everything is interacting, and just kind of like show that in a very easy to understand manner for clients. For the average, just like single brand owner, it's probably not going to be the best. It's not going to do a ton for you, but it'll do something. It's cool to still see that kind of data, and be able to act on it, right? You're going to be able to essentially see, okay, if this keyword is what is actually our number one converter over, across like 10 different campaigns within the last 10 months, we should be focused up on that, right? So stuff like that. But let's see. Salma, I have a problem in Amazon inventory. They disactivate a specific ASIN as out of stock. In order for this ASIN has available stock on Amazon, but I don't see reason why in solution. Please advise. So I'm confused. So you're saying that the product has inventory or has an available stock on Amazon, uh, but it doesn't have available stock? In Amazon inventory, they disactivate a specific ASIN as out of stock. In order, this ASIN has an available stock on Amazon, but I don't see a reason why in solution. Yeah, what that sounds like, I mean, it sounds more like the product itself is actually out of stock. What I would do, Salma, if you head on over to, I believe it's Manage All Inventory, you can actually check to see if you have any inventory that is currently or any inventory that is like suspended and any inventory that is unfulfillable. That's usually what that is. They maybe just took it all out, put it into unfulfillable, or it's just inventory that's not currently attached to it and you just need to reattach it. So I think that's what you're kind of talking about here, but unfortunately, it's not something where Amazon's just going to solve it on its own, and seller support's not going to be much help until you actually find where the inventory is. Let's see. Can a seller request Amazon to send sales information to someone the seller is selling their product for? One. That said seller a lot. Request Amazon send sales information to someone the seller is selling their product for. If so, is there a request action in the Amazon seller account? No. Amazon is not going to send you information for someone else selling your product. That is just not going to happen. There's no way, shape, or form in which Amazon would. I mean, that's like, it's essentially like saying two different companies sell Nike shoes. And so, even though they're competitor stores right next to each other, asking for Nike to tell you how much they do in sales, right? That's not going to happen. So, no, Amazon's not going to tell you that. Unfortunately, you would have to get that information from them. Let's see. Business cat. Back with the business cat. Okay. My question is, when should we ship product to Amazon warehouse when we're close to out of stock? Ship it before you're close to out of stock. You can use, and if you go to our YouTube channel, I actually just posted a video on this business cat. If you're able to manage a computer, you can go to Amazon's FBA inventory section dashboard, and it'll give you an understanding of kind of demand forecasting for each of your products. Amazon gives you a good understanding of when you should put product in, when you shouldn't put product in, etc. But that's just simple demand forecasting, understanding that. So I would definitely check and just see essentially how fast did you sell out of the inventory, right? So how many units are you selling per month? Okay. How long does it take your product to get to Amazon from wherever it is? What is the timeline there? So how many more days of sales do you have of current inventory? Calculate. It's demand forecasting essentially. Yeah. Ruth. My name is Eduardo. Well, that's odd. My wife and I have an LLC to work in Amazon FBA, but we have not started yet. My question is, if Amazon sells our products and collects taxes from customers for each product, and we have to pay taxes at the beginning of each year for all of our sales to the IRS, I don't know what I should do. Amazon collects and pays taxes to the IRS for us, either sends us a document or check to pay those taxes that they charged the customers, or we have to pay all those taxes again for all the products, even though Amazon has already charged the customers. I'm learning English. Can you explain me not too quickly so I can understand? Thank you very much. I love this. It's the type of question I love. You're very nice with it. Yeah, I will explain as much as I can. Again, I am not an accountant, guys. I love AMAs. I love answering questions. I am not going to say that this is legal or tax advice, as I am not an accountant, but this is essentially everything Amazon tax related that I know and can share with you. You should be still having to file and pay taxes on your business and business income no matter what. Now, you do not collect sales tax when you are selling on Amazon. Amazon collects and remits sales tax from every sale, and they are sending you money that is not included in sales tax. So at the end of every year, Amazon will send you a document. Technically, you can just get it from the Amazon backend through the payments section, but Amazon will send you a document outlining all of these tax details. Now, the best possible advice I can give you, because the biggest issue when it comes to Amazon, especially for FBM, FBA, is dealing not with federal, but state taxes. The best possible advice I can give you is twofold. One, get some form of tax help. Get an accountant who works specifically for e-commerce. And then two, get a software such as like Avalara that works with Amazon and understands how sales tax works across every single state. That is what you need to focus on when you are dealing with Amazon. I would not try and do it yourself. I have never once tried to do my own taxes for Amazon. And I'm not a big tax guy. I am well enough to know where I stand. I do not mess with the IRS. I have said that once. I'll say it a million times. I don't mess with the IRS. Get yourself an accountant who understands Amazon, understands e-commerce. Get a software such as Avalara that can help you when it comes to tracking and understanding this. Make sure that you actually get Amazon to send you reports. And if you don't download them yourself at the end of the year, that is my best advice for you. Don't try and just wing it and understand it, because you'll end up probably messing something up. I know I would, at the very least. All right. The Q&A I meant was listing Q&A section, so you can ask and reply with an SEO optimized question. I mean, yeah, we do ASIN reviews every so often, Abdul. So yeah, we're happy to do some more. We haven't done one. I think we did one recently, but we haven't done like an actual ASIN review in a long time. So I did one on a live Q&A a while back. So happy to do more of those in the future. I'm happy to jump on one. I could probably get my a couple other directors, brand managers, anyone internal hop on as well. So there's some thought that people want ASIN review at some point in time in the near future for a live stream, let us know. Happy to provide that. Best way to report negative review by unverified buyer and the content of review violates Amazon's term service. I have used report button multiple times with no luck, and opening a case doesn't help either. Then I would ask the question, does it actually violate Amazon's terms of service? If you've opened a support case and you have used the actual backend report, so you should be going to your performance and go to your reviews section there on Amazon's backend. And if you actually reported the review there and nothing happened, that probably means it doesn't violate Amazon term service. Amazon is very, very good in one area, and that is like reviews. That for some reason, out of all the places that Amazon will actually be good for sellers, it is in regulating reviews. I don't know why, but they are. So that would be my thing there. Unfortunately, if you're saying it does, I would have to see the actual review to know what does it actually violate. I don't know, because but unfortunately, if seller support isn't doing anything either, there's not a lot you can do outside of that. Just keep reporting it. Business cat needs some guidance on how to disperse from Amazon quickly. Last time it took me 3 months to disperse from my account. Oh, disbursements on Amazon are a problem, especially for new sellers. The biggest thing here, business cat, is that you need to understand is that there are sellers that are doing millions of dollars a year and, even tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, who are still not getting disbursements more than every 2 weeks. There's not a trick here that easiest thing is as you just keep growing as a seller, the longer you've been on the platform and the more sales you do on the platform, the easier it is to ask seller support for early disbursement periods. There will open up a point in time if you get enough sales volume and you've been on the platform long enough to where they will have a button in your payment section that just says make a disbursement. And Amazon will do same day disbursements or next day disbursements for you. So that's the biggest thing there. Unfortunately, there's not like a hidden magic sauce here, other than be longer selling, have more sales volume. That's all there really is to it. All right. We have Viper. Actually, for that Viper, I'm going to get a little more water here. Talking for just an hour straight. It'll get your throat a little sore. What was I doing? Oh, Viper. All right, let's see here. Oh, my camera's getting all messy. Whatever. We'll fix it. It'll fix itself eventually. I have my current LLC and brand with Amazon. Cool. Could I create another brand and seller account with another company that my wife and I own? Yeah, just let Amazon know. Amazon's changed their policy. You used to not be able to do this. You used to not be able to have more than one seller account at any given time, and they would link them. But nowadays they're fine with it, as long as you let them know. The big thing is that you can't sell the same exact product. Don't sell the same exact product in the same category. They want you to be in separate categories. But yeah, totally fine if you just let Amazon know ahead of time, and shouldn't be an issue. Let's see. What's your thoughts on Trellis seller extension? I don't know if I've actually used this. Let me see. I know of Trellis. I didn't know they have a seller extension. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't use it. Get Keepa. This seems cool, I guess, but yeah, just get Keepa. At the end of the day, it's going to give you all this information anyways. Same with Helium. Helium and Keepa are just going to give you all this information, probably be a lot more accurate. Luke, what's the best PPC setup to launch a variation that I want to become the main product? Should I launch during Prime Day? Is the product already launched? I mean, you're a little late to the gun if you're wanting to launch for Prime Day, maybe fall Prime Day. There's no best PPC setup for launching a variation you want to become the main product. It's just about getting enough reviews and sales velocity on that product to make it the best product. So what I would say is follow pretty much any guide that we have as far as setups with PPC. So again, the big things there are going to be making sure don't get away from negative keywords. That's a big thing that we're actually pushing a lot, and I see a lot of people as of lately not doing negative keywords. When you're trying to grow, have like a 2-to-1 ratio for negative keywords for the variation. And what I mean by that is 2 keywords to 1 negative keyword. On top of that, obviously sponsored product is going to be your best friend here. Go very heavy with it, top search. You also want to kind of extend that reach with your broad campaigns as well. If you're not focused on a brand building, don't even worry about doing a video, any sponsored brand, any sponsored display. Just focus solely on sponsored product for that variation. Okay, Viper, how do we let them know? Seller support. Literally just create a ticket to seller support. Let them know that you are going to be opening a new business or a new seller account under your other business. Let them know if you know the business name, everything ahead of time. That's cool too, but not necessary. You might run into issues with some linking if you use specifically like all of your information. But what you can do is, since you're going to be opening with your wife, use your wife's information. As long as the LLC is different, as long as the brand is different, all of that is different, you shouldn't run into any issues. You might run into some with if you have like the same address or something, but from there, no, nothing really wrong with it. Just submit a seller support ticket, and you should be golden there, Viper. And on that note, we got no more questions, guys. What else? I'm here for a little bit more. I don't get any more questions, I'll hop out. But if we don't have any more questions, there isn't much as far as Amazon news. Is Prime Day next week, as everyone knows, Tuesday, Wednesday. If there's no other questions or anything, I guess we'll wrap a little bit early today. But good Friday live, good cute questions today, guys, and from there, hope everyone has a fantastic weekend and a fantastic Prime Day. Next week, we'll get to talk all about all of the things you should be doing post Prime Day and answer all the questions around that. And what should we be spending our money on and not spending on? So I guess we'll call it there. A little early this week, but that's all right. And hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks for coming along. Oh, before all that, I suppose, let me do this. For those that don't know, we are my Amazon guy. And we are hold on. There we go. We are my Amazon guy. We are a full service Amazon agency. So what that means is we do everything A to Z. We do design, we do advertising, we do SEO, troubleshooting, everything you can think of. If you are interested in us, go check out our website, check out our services. We have a billion different things. We also have a service, My Refund Guy, as well as my Shopify guy. We do a lot of different services as well, and my Walmart guy. So we do Walmart, Shopify, Amazon, anything in between that you want to possibly have us do. On top of that, if you just want our SOPs or anything like that, we sell all of them internal. Everything we use internally to help grow our client accounts. Check it out. After that, if you're just looking for a job, we also have jobs available. We have internships, paid internships. So if you ever want to work in Amazon, you don't currently do anything with it, check out our paid internships. Always happy to have more people on board, trying to get the best of the best crop that we can. As well, I talked about coaching earlier. Feel free to schedule a coach call if you want something like this, but in a one-on-one fashion. And then past that as well, my name, again, is Noah. Feel free to check me on LinkedIn, link.com/in/Noah Wickham. I post content daily on there as well. And this has been our Friday Live podcast. Hope everyone has a great weekend.